Petty, and today I'm going to be doing a lesson over our animals' inventors. For this lesson, we have 3 students that we need to accommodate for. So over here will be student 1's table, student 2's table, and student 3. So for the objective, by the end of this lesson, students will identify the main idea of a nonfiction text, provide at least 3 supporting details, and use a graphic organizer to organize their thoughts. Guys, are we ready to get started today? Yes? Show me thumbs up if you're ready. Okay, so today we're going to be going over a nonfiction text called our Animals Inventors. So do you think an animal is an inventor? Can you give me a thumbs up? Yes. If you don't think so, give me a thumbs down, no. Or if you don't know, give me a thumbs in between. Okay. So what we're going to talk about the main idea and the supporting details that go with that. So what is the main idea? So remember, the main idea is what the text is mostly about. It is the big idea that the author wants to share. What are supporting details? Supporting details are facts, examples, or explanations that help explain or support the main idea. So today we're going to be going over the nonfiction text, our animals inventors, and we're going to look at our graphic organizer. We have our main idea and our 3 supporting details, okay? So let's look at our text. How everyone is doing their job while I'm looking for this. Good job. We're going to do this as a read aloud.
Day. For some simple ones, think of a spoon or hammer. Other inventions are complex, such as a car or telephone. Many people think that only humans invent tools. Not so fast. Some animals use tools, too. For example, fire ants use moss to soak up water and carry it home. Sea otters use rocks to crack open mussel shells. Does that mean that these animals are also inventors? Finding out isn't easy. We can't ask an otter how it knew to use a rock as a hammer.
Okay. So let's look at this paragraph right here. It says, not so fast. Some animals use tools too. For example, fire ants use moss to soak up water and carry it home. Sea otters use rocks to crack open mussel shells. Does that mean these animals are also inventors? Let's think about the main idea. Idea is what the author really wants to tell us. So looking at this paragraph, some animals use tools too. Telling us that some animals use tools as well. details that would go with that. We have fire ants, to soak up and carry it. Sea otters to crack open mussel shells. What else? Sometimes they'll only have two. Have three. We just have to look at our paragraph. So remember, the main idea is what the author is wanting to tell us. The author is telling us that some animals use tools too. So for example, our supporting detail, the fire ants use moss to soak up water and carry it home, and sea otters use rocks to crack open mussel shells. So today, at your groups, y'all are going to read over a paragraph, and you're going to find the main idea of the paragraph, and you're also going to find the three supporting details that go with that. Okay? So, for at table 1, you're going to do the section about the chimps on your iPad. At table 2, you're going to do about the mole rats. And at table 3, you're going to talk about the ravens. So you're going to find the main idea of your section, list at least 3 supporting details, and you're going to use your graphic organizers to record your findings, and then we're going to share as a group, okay? So we're going to look at the chimps, okay? You're going to look at the main idea and the supporting details. Over here, we have your sentence stems. So you're going to tell me what the animal that uses the tool to do what. And then we're going to talk about the supporting details, okay? Here, y'all are talking about the mole rats. So I'm going to set a timer on your iPad, and you're going to do a checklist, okay? So look, I listened to the paragraph being read. I stayed focused until the timer ran out. I highlighted the main idea, so you're going to highlight the main idea. So you're going to use a pencil to do it on the iPad, okay? You're going to find at least one supporting detail, and you're going to help your group fill in the main idea chart with the supporting details, okay? Over here at table 3, okay, you're going to follow your schedule. So you're going to read your paragraph that's assigned. So you're going to do it over ravens, and then you're going to talk about the main idea. You're going to find the supporting details. You're also going to fill in the graphic organizer, and you're going to share with the class, okay? So I'm going to give everyone a couple of minutes to do this, and then we'll come back and we'll just talk about it out loud, okay? So you have the chimp. Okay, so the chimp use here. so you're going to fill in. So the, and then blank, chimp uses you. Termites. Okay, so now we're going to come over here and then you're going to find the supporting details, okay? I'm going to give you a happy face for that. Good job. Okay, make sure you're looking at your timer. Look at your timer. And you're going to listen with your group, okay? Good. All right, how are we doing over here with your buddy? Really? Okay. You are looking at the main idea. Good, good, good. Let's check this off. So you read it. You're talking about it. So what are we going to do next? Find your supporting details. Okay. Thank you. You listened. Yeah, good job. Okay, so now I need you to help find one supporting detail. Y'all are doing so good. Okay, just a couple of more minutes and then we're going to come back and share as a group, okay? Details. Okay, so now you're going to fill in your graphic organizer, okay? So fill in the rest of it. All right, oh, remember we're staying on task right now. So we're going to do this. I need you to help find a supporting detail. Use your highlighter to find the details, okay? Is everyone ready? Okay, so let's start with table 1. So y'all had the chimpanzee, so it's called the termite catcher. So I'm going to read it, and then you're going to tell me what the main idea and the 3 supporting details are, okay? For some other animals, it's a different story. Chimpanzees use a stick to catch termites. A chimp finds a branch, strips off its leaves and side branches, and breaks the stick to the ideal length. Then it carefully pokes the tool into holes in a termite mound. The termites attack the stick. When the chimp pulls out the stick, it's covered in tasty termites. Unlike sea otters, individual chimps construct and handle their tools differently. Conclude that chimps invented this tool. Young chimps learn this skill by watching older chimps. The first few times a youngster makes a probe from a stick, the tool is crude and doesn't work well. By practicing, the young chimps improve their tool-making skill. Okay, so what is the main idea about the chimps? Off with so the stick to So the chimp uses a stick to catch termites. So that is the main idea. Supporting details that go with that. This, it says chimpanzees use a stick to catch termites. Good job. Okay, so supporting detail number 1. They find a branch. Size. Okay, so what is supporting detail number 2? So what else do chimpanzees use? Or what else do chimpanzees do with the stick to catch the termites? Poke holes into what? Hole. So now let's look at supporting detail number 3. What else happens? The stick. Good job. Main idea from table 1, they said that the chimps use a stick to catch termites. For their 3 supporting details, they find a branch and break the stick to their size. Then they poke holes into the termite hole and the termites attack the stick. Good job, table 1. Y'all did good on that. Okay, table 2. That the timer is done. The timer's done. Now we're going to do this, okay? So you helped your group fill in the chart, so now we're going to do this together, okay? So, dust mask. Okay, scientists gather more clues about an animal's use of tools by observing how the animal behaves in a new situation. Dr. Paul Sherman and Gabrielle Schuster use this approach with naked mole rats. These gerbil-sized African rodents live in underground tunnels in colonies of up to 300 members. Dr. Sherman's laboratory at Cornell University, their homes are plastic tubes in which they often gnaw holes with their large front teeth. Before gnawing at the plastic, a mole rat picks up a piece of wood, shaving, or root husk. The animal places the shaving or husk behind its front teeth. The shield keeps plastic dust out of the rodent's throat and windpipe while it gnaws. Did mole rats invent the dust mask to keep fine, irritating plastic out of their throats? Mole rats in several laboratories use the wood shavings the same way. This could mean that naked mole rats are born knowing how to shield their throats whenever digging creates fine dust. But only the older mole rats use the shavings. This could be a clue that the younger ones aren't born knowing how to use shavings as dust masks, but have to learn it from their elders. That would mean at least one mole rat invented the tool. Invention. No one is sure yet. That was a long paragraph. Y'all did such a good job on this. Okay, so let's talk about the mole rat. What is the main idea about the mole rat? First, we're going to talk about the mole rat. Then we're going to do the supporting details. And then we're going to listen to our next group, okay? So the main idea. With the mole rat. So what does the mole rat do? Wood. wood shaving. Okay. Root husk. Idea is the mole rat picks up a piece of wood shaving or root husk. So let's look at our supporting details. So what could be a supporting detail that goes with the mole rat picking up a piece of wood shaving or root husk? Their teeth. Okay. What do they place behind their teeth? Is the it's supporting detail number 2. So let's look at that, okay? Okay, when the timer goes off for this, then you can have a break, okay? Detail number 2. Shaving. The wood shaving is a shield. Let's look at supporting detail number 3. So what else do mole rats do when they have the wood shaving? Know that? Let's look at this. So our main idea for table 2 is about the mole rat. So the main idea is the mole rat picks up a piece of wood shaving or a root husk. Till number 1. So the mole rat places the wood shaving behind its teeth. Number 2. The wood shaving is a shield. Supporting detail number 3. They're born to know how to use the shield. Good job. Okay, so now that the timer is off, you may take a break, okay? On to table number 3. Number 3, the ravens, okay? So at table 3, I'm going to read about the raven, okay? Animal tool user is the raven. This bird collects rocks, then drops them on intruders. Is the raven inventive? To find out, Dr. Bird Heinrich gave ravens a problem they'd never seen before. He tied meat to the end of the long string that was attached to a perch. The ravens could not pull bits of the meat loose by flying and grabbing at it. The only way to eat the meat was to pull the string up to the perch. But Dr. Heinrich made the problem harder by choosing a string that was too long to be raised with one pull. At first, the ravens pecked at the string or dived at the meat. Finally, one bird sat on the perch and pulled up a short length of string with its beak. The raven used its foot to clamp the string to the perch, which prevented the meat from falling back to its original place. The bird then used its beak to yank up another length of string. After repeating this several times, the bird could grab the meat. Eventually, most of the other ravens pulled up to the string in a similar way. Once the bird figured out the solution, it used the method perfectly every time. Because none of the ravens solved the problem immediately, Dr. Heinrich concluded that they had invented a solution. So table 3, you're going to look at your chart and you're going to tell me about the main idea for the ravens and the 3 supporting details, okay? So I'm going to start off with the sentence stem. So what did the raven use? Collected on intruders. Uses rocks collected to drop on intruders. So that is the main idea. So let's think about this. So the raven uses rocks collected to drop on intruders. So let's read this. So it says Dr. Heinrich had tied meat to the end of a long string that was attached to a perch, and that ravens could not pull bits of the meat loose by flying and grabbing at it. So I think the main idea was to use rocks. Think about that, okay? So the raven had to use meat. They then use the string to collect the meat. So let's look at those details, okay? So supporting detail number 1. So let's look at this. It says the ravens could not pull bits of the meat loose from flying and grabbing at it. It also says that Dr. Heinrich had tied the meat to a long string. Detail could be that Dr. Heinrich on a perch. Detail number 2. How did they use the string to collect the meat? The only way to eat the meat was to pull the string up to the perch. To eat. To pull. Could be a supporting detail for this. Got the string. Main idea, the raven had to use a string to collect meat. A supporting detail, Dr. Heinrich used a string that was on a perch. Supporting detail number 2, the only way to eat meat was to pull the string up to the perch. And supporting detail number 3 is the raven pecked at the string. That was good. All right, good job, everyone. Tell me how you all work together, okay? So at table 1, how did y'all work together? You used to talk to you? Good. Work together over here. You all use the timer to do your job? To stay on track? Good job. And how did y'all work over here at table 3? You were buddies that wrote this out together? Good job. Now we're gonna do an exit ticket. So we're gonna just do this together. So what animal used a tool? So raise your hand and tell me what animal used a tool. The chimpanzee used a tool. Could you tell me what the tool was? What tool did the chimpanzee use? Do you remember? And what did the animal use it for? To catch termites. Good job using your sentence stem. Okay, who else? Sea otter, and what did they use? I think they used rocks to, what did they use the rocks for? To crack open the mussel shells? Good job. Can anyone tell me another one? Talk about. What did the ants do? They used the water. Good job, everyone. Okay, so now that everyone's done, y'all may go choose a station.